GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
Here we go, you lovey-dovey, rubby in the dark, fellas. Everybody happy Love Day, happy Valentines weekend.
Yeah, we're recording this on St. Valentine's Day. You might be listening to it when it's all over, so you may, I don't know, maybe you've had your heart broken, or maybe you've been loved up and you're still basking in the afterglow of who knows what.
Or maybe you're one of those people that says, I should have put a load of bollocks, I hate it.
Or maybe you've ended, maybe one of those people that we spoke about actually on Friday's show, about people who end up in A&E because they thought, well, it's Valentine's Day, I think I might get a bit fruity.
That was our story of the week, I think. We found that these love facts, are related not just to the day, but just because of the season that was in it. And apparently 11,000 people a year, right? 11,000 people every year end up in A&E with sexual related injuries, having tried a new position that maybe didn't end well, unless that was what you were after. Put me to the hospital.
That'd be a weird kink to have,
wouldn't it? Yeah,
I love having this type of sex that makes you end up in hospital.
Yeah. If I don't need an ambulance after it, I'm not into it. But I suppose everybody has their thing.
You see, the thing about it
11,000.
It's all very well now. So, okay.
That's not in Dublin, by the way. That's worldwide.
If you were doing something and, I don't know, whatever it is, you're hanging out with the ceiling or jumping out of your wardrobe, whatever you're doing, right?
Jumping out of your pants.
If you end up like, I don't know, spraining your leg or something, that's one thing. You go in and you get, treated in a hospital and nobody asks any funny questions. But
how that happened, that's it. Yeah.
If you've a sprained willy or something, you know what I mean? Or
I know.
If it's all pointing in the wrong direction or whatever, it's a bit harder to explain.
Yeah, how that happened. Well, I was putting on my shoes and I thought, I would try and hang one off the hook that was available at the time. And that's the thing, isn't it? It just becomes, you shouldn't have to be feel bad about it. You should just be able to say it. I mean, it's the most normal thing in the world.
If your willy's pointing in the wrong direction,
it should be normal. You just go in and say, come here, listen, me and the missus, it was, yourself, we thought we'd try it in the shower, we never did before. I'm after standing on a bar of soap and you know yourself, how things are, and I used a bit too much lube, I fell all the way down the stairs and everything.
I'll tell you what happened. I got knocked down. Really? How did you manage to get knocked down? Well, that's what happened. I slid down the stairs. I went straight out the front door and right into the road, and I got knocked down by a bus.
Down the front garden and all, 150 yards. Knocked two dogs out of the way.
That stuff's powerful.
That stuff is mad.
Powerful it is.
I thought I got super slick because I thought it was. But so there you go. That's what happens. That's what happens.
Remember we had that story before about the hospital stuff where people show up with hospitals in hospitals where, let's just say, unusual things.
What, there was a man?
Everyday items actually kind of end up in people.
Well, it was the man. Was it a man turned up? What was it that was in there? He turned up and he said he had belly aches, and they were whatever. They couldn't get to the bottom of it, so they sent him for an X-ray, and there was a fucking pear or something, or an eel. An eel, was it?
And a lemon.
And that's right. They took the eel out, and he says, "I'm still not great." And they found a lemon as well. And they said, "How did that get in there?" And he goes, "Honestly, I have no idea," he says.
Exactly.
I haven't a clue.
It's like the lad.
They're like nothing. You have no idea. No. And
remember the lad who ended up with the sauce bottle, and he said he fell on it.
He fell on from a height. Yeah.
Fell on the sauce bottle.
Yeah.
Went
through his trousers and all. Yeah. And they were asking where his trousers were. He says, I thought there was no point in wearing them.
The sauce bottle had a bit of... was wearing protection, if you know what I mean.
That happens all the time. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember now. I was like, why was the rubber Johnny on the sauce bottle? He said, I don't know. So who did that?
It must have been like that in the shop when I got it.
It's such a weird series of coincidences. Yeah, that's right.
So listen, if if you're hearing this in time, be careful out there, people. Right? You don't want to end up with an ailment that's a little bit difficult to explain.
Although, so that's not to say you shouldn't take risks either. Although, you get to a point in your life, I suppose you get to a point in your relationship, maybe some people do, they get to a certain stage and you have three positions, so you go, right, we'll use them, that's what we have, right? We'll stick to them. And that's what we'll do. Yeah. And depending on the mood now, you do a flip, a cuddle and a turn or whatever it is. And then you might get to a stage where one person says, come here, do you want to try? It's only a little different. And then it's never.
I'm at the buying this Chilbert Super Stick.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure what it's for.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're meant to oil the doors with it or if we use it, but you know yourself.
Now, I'm after spilling a load from the front driveway and everything. So don't fall, you hit a bus.
Yeah, about 8 people have slipped.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then that's the thing. When you introduce something like that, it's rarely, I think, accepted completely open. There's an element of can I talk to you? Can I say something to you? Here,
See, that's all very well.
It's always where did you see that?
Yeah. You see, and that's the thing they say. This thing, I know you should be
Who
open.
told you about that? Did Jim tell you about that? I would go, yes. Even though he didn't.
They do that thing about, discuss it openly and just, say, look, I'd like to.
Yeah.
And that's all very well. And they make it sound like somebody will go, oh, right, okay, well, and all that. But what happens if they turn around and go, you dirty pervert?
Yeah, and even if it's something normal, would you just wear a different pair of pants or something?
Why? What's wrong with these? My mother gave me these.
There's nothing wrong with them. I love your ma. But it's just not a turn on. It's just not a turn. Yeah.
It's a lot more, and especially in an Irish context.
It is.
We still have a little bit of a hangover of the old Irishness in that.
Definitely do. 100%. Where someone's new.
I mean, I'll have to go to confession if we do that.
And that's it, isn't it? Because in Ireland, everybody presumes if something new is introduced, they presume that means the person is saying everything was wrong to that point.
Yes.
So someone comes in with a studded belt and goes, "You wouldn't give us a few cracks of that across the arse," and they'd be like, "Oh." So all the time you haven't got cracked across the arse, you didn't like it.
You're basically saying that was rubbish.
No, you're saying that's brilliant. I'm just wondering if you can add this in as well.
Yeah. You know what it turns into?
Like, but I love the burger, but sometimes I want the chips as well.
Yeah.
It's just adding more to it. But it's always, so it's not good enough.
Do you know what it's like the equivalent of, and you used to always say it, remember we used to slag off Dr. Phil?
Yes.
You know the thing where he'd be doing this thing and the one you always thing was like, you say, I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. She hears, I hate everything about you.
Yeah. That's it. That's what he used to do all the time.
Yeah.
What you say is this, what she hears is this. You go, I've no control over that.
What am I supposed to do?
I can't cover all the bases. I can't say, I've something to say, but before I say it, what I'm not saying is. You can't do that. That's not natural conversation.
Yeah.
All you can do is say, listen to the words and the context, and please take it at face value, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't run deeper than what I'm about to say. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't run deep a lot, but it always be, does it not? Yeah.
No.
Well, where'd you hear it? I hope you weren't up there now in the pub telling everyone about what we'd be doing when we're riding and everything. And you're like, I wasn't. This is just me. This is just something I would like to try.
Yeah.
Uniquely with you, actually. This is a thing that no one else is involved in at the moment.
Yeah.
But the question is, can they all be involved? Imagine.
Yeah. But now that you mention it, would you mind if everybody from the pub came down?
Yeah. It's just they'll be here at 6. And that's the thing. It's always, it's like you said, there is, no matter who you are now, there is still some element of that Catholic catch-up where you think, I don't care what anyone else does until you hear they're doing it.
Even before you get that far, there's still the other kind of catch-22 as well, isn't there? Of the kind of, the presents, be it card or flowers or chocolates or something more or whatever.
Yeah.
Is the idea of, when you've been together for a long time.
Yes.
And you get to the stage where it's like, it's almost a bit like the way the Christmas presents would be with, kind of, what will I get you for Christmas? Don't be buying anything for me. Sure, look at you at my age, I don't want anything.
Yeah, like,
so you get that thing. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You get that thing where in a relationship a long time and you go like, so, do you want a card or anything, or, do you want to go out or anything? No, sure, look at this, not at all. Sure, look at it, our age, my God, what would you want that for?
Yeah.
And then no card arrives. And then suddenly it's very quiet in the house.
What's wrong with you? On this coincidental day that you're in a bad mood. And that's why I always flip it now.
Yeah.
That's why this is my move now, right? Do you want anything for Valentine's Day?
No.
Oh, well, I do.
Great.
That's what I do now.
Okay.
I do. I want something. So there you go.
So yeah.
So I do. I'd like
so
to.
Then do you
and
not
then the
buy?
rules have changed. The rules have changed.
Right.
Not much, but I would like something. Maybe a bottle of whiskey or chocolates or a new T-shirt and a card. I would like that. And then,
God,
then I have to go. And that
you're
means,
a bit expensive, aren't you? Bottles of whiskey and everything.
Or a holiday, or a new motorbike, whatever's handy.
Yeah, depending on which shop you're near at the time.
I'm not asking you to go in and get, Don Farignon. Well, that's not.
Don Farignon. Who the fuck is Don Farignon?
He's the champagne whiskey man of France.
Oh, right. Don Farignon.
Don Farignon.
My God.
But that way...
I got you this bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
That's unusual. Is it Don Perignon?
No,
it's Don Farignon. Is that knockoff champagne? No, it's not that. It's champagne.
Yeah.
It's just not from France.
This is super fancy. It's not even fizzy or that.
Yeah, this is the gluten-free one.
Yeah, they didn't even put this through the soda stream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that's it. So and then you set a new standard so you can't get in trouble. That's my move. That's how I get away with it now.
Yeah.
You know, will we not get each other something for Christmas? No, I think we should. Yeah. I'm getting you.
Yeah, but does that
this,
not
and there you
put
go.
it on you then to have to do it?
No, I don't care. I just
you just don't do it for them anyway.
Whatever. I'll get around to it. When I'm in town next week. You know, yeah. But it just means that you don't have that, because I always hated that, you know.
The not knowing.
That not knowing. What are we
Yeah.
doing? How much are we spending? What's going on?
Right.
So I just say, do you know what? I'd like something for £100. That's what I'd like.
Bloody hell, you are expensive.
Yes, I am, actually.
You
yes,
wouldn't just
I am.
say to her, just give us a tenner now and we'll call it quits.
Imagine. 2 tenner, swap tenors. A Revolution tenner.
Yeah.
But yeah. With a love heart stuck on it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you want something for Valentine's? Yeah, I was thinking actually I might get some. I'll get some new jeans actually. Great. Okay, there's a few quid. Go and buy yourself something nice.
Are you serious?
Are you not going to buy it for me? Oh, no. You know the size.
You know
there
yeah.
you go.
I wouldn't know.
Buy yourself something nice.
No,
Keep the change.
I'd be buying extra large in case I grow into the middle. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah,
What a minefield.
Oh, yeah, but that is it, isn't it? And everything's a minefield. Birthdays are well, it's not. There's something about this day, because this day is one of those fake holidays, isn't it? It's one of those completely manufactured just to make people spend money holidays.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Hallmark day kind of stuff.
Hallmark holiday. You do to some degree. It's sort of infectious. And it's one of those. It's a shit bag of a holiday, because isn't
There's
it?
no holiday. That's the shit.
That's
bag
a huge part.
If you got the day off, at least to be a start.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a shit bag holiday, like Christmas. If you're not with anyone, if you have nothing to do, if there's nowhere to go, then it's actually a pain in the hole to even do something for yourself. You go to the cinema, it's full of shit bag couples. If you go to the pub, it's full of wankers catching up. If you go you can't get a bit of food. Every table is booked out. They're doing all the specials. You can't just go in for a burger and chips for one. They don't want you there. They'll be rushing you out.
Yeah.
That's 2 seats, you know.
Yeah,
you're in the way. You know, you can't do those things. All you can do is just sit at home looking at your bottle of Don Farignon feeling like shit.
Looking at your bottle of Don Perignon, wondering whether to drink it or to splash it on your face after you've had a shave.
Yeah, thinking, I wish I had the chance to get a sex injury that would send me to the A&E, where at least I could talk to someone.
Yeah,
You know.
faking a sex injury, going to your local A&E because you're so lonely on Valentine's Day that you go in and pretend that you hurt yourself while trying some new riding position.
What happened? I was with my girlfriend. Is she here now? No, she's also injured and can't make it. We'll send an ambulance. Don't send an ambulance. Yeah, it's like that old joke. There used to be, what was his name? I can't remember the comedian's name, but he used to have this great joke where he says, I joined the Mile High Club, except I was on the train on my own.
Imagine if you were in a day and you ended up having a conversation with somebody like that.
Imagine,
Yeah.
Whole load of them.
What happened to you? Oh, just football. I was training. What happened to you? Oh, stuff. I slid down my bathroom, down the stairs and out into the road.
I slid down the banisters and the bottom ball on the end of it. Whew. Anyway, you know, you win some, you lose some.
Wow.
It took me a while. That staircase, it's not part of the hospital. It's part of the injury.
Yeah. I was thinking there was no other chairs like that in this hospital. No, that's mine. I brought it from home.
Sorry, no.
Well, I say I brought it. I didn't really have a choice.
No choice. It's not the emergency exit if you're looking for it. Don't know where that is. I wouldn't fit through it anyway.
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
A lot of people put a lot of effort into trying to get rid of bad habits.
Yeah.
You know, trying to give up things that they think are well, I mean, just not the done thing.
Yeah, great news for Jim in the papers today, because apparently loads of filthy habits are actually quite good for you.
How very dare you?
Not just loads of things I would imagine you enjoy to exceptional degrees when you're...
Like what, for example?
Being lazy. Believe it or not, they say being lazy in your sort of, your layaboutery. Jim loves laying about. He's a layabout.
So me being lazy. This is
it's
you.
Good for you.
This is you now.
Yes, yeah.
You.
Yes.
Saying about me being lazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I have a very active day when I'm doing what I want to do. When you come in, you go flat out on things. Work, you have to carry the two of us.
But anyway, so
and
what?
Then it takes him 18 hours a day to recover after he's dealt with this.
So, a bit of laziness, bit of kind of not doing a lot is good for you.
They actually say it can make you live longer, believe it or not.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. Concluding, like, your laid-back approach to life, your approach to exercise and activities, the fact that you behave essentially like animals that went extinct millions of years ago, but used to have great long lives,
Yeah.
And then there's breaking wind. Having an L-fart is apparently very, very good for your gut health. The average person, they say, does an L-toot about 35 times a day, is it?
Wow.
25 times a day. Jim, 35 times a day. 25 times a day.
Again. That's you saying that to me.
Yeah. Well,
it's a good job the Nova Nation know the true story.
Well,
but
Jim,
anyway.
in fairness, Jim lives at such altitude that when he comes down from the hills and round, the pressure changes.
Decompression.
There's only one way it can go.
You'd have to, otherwise you'd end up with the bends.
You would. You definitely would. And it's very good for your gut health.
Right.
And the pressure coming out, no matter what end it says, the pressure comes out. It's actually pretty good for you, And then swearing, there's something Jim's really good at. Swearing is
this is
great for
extraordinary.
stress relief.
Again, when it comes to foul language, you saying it to me.
Yeah, will you shut up for a minute and let me talk?
This is classic, whatever you call it. Classic kind of deflection.
God, I can't get a word in with this woolly back to puppetable snowman throwing his oar in.
Wow.
But they say it's really good for stress relief. It's cathartic. You know the way they said years ago that physical sort of aggression was cathartic, but it turns out it isn't. It actually isn't. Punching things and throwing things around, it just makes you more angry.
Right.
But apparently swearing on a milder level is quite good for you.
Yeah.
That's
God, you must be, based on all that I've heard so far, you must be. Why aren't you the absolute pinnacle of health?
Gonna live forever.
If lazy, farting, swearing individuals are,
yeah,
the healthiest among us, you must be.
That's not, and it doesn't end there. Picking your nose and all is in there. Skipping showers. My God, you were gonna live forever.
Glory Days. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
Turns out humans aren't the only kind of picky people when it comes to food,
This is amazing. There's a family of gorillas in Kyoto Zoo over in Japan, and they've learned how to order food on an iPad.
This is extraordinary.
It is, yeah.
I know we are kind of, evolved from the primates.
Well, some of us are. Some of us are still primates. Not pointing the finger at anyone, but some, around.
So they're using an iPad to order their food to the zoo.
Yeah, so it's this thing they have, right? It's an iPad. They presented it to the gorillas. They're doing it for now 5 years. They've been working on it to try and see. It was actually started as an exercise of trust between gorillas and people, but it's ended up that there's a sequence of numbers that gorillas can put in, and the different sequence of numbers they put in, they get different foods, right? So it's complex enough. You have to get a certain sequence of numbers to get a certain food.
Like there's a code.
Yeah, it's
of
like
sorts.
a code, yeah, and that's how they do it. And you end up with food deliveries depending on what sequence of numbers you put in. It's like a Gorilla-roo, like Deliveroo, but for gorillas, right?
Yeah.
So Gorilla-roo, jeepers, that's a great thing for Jim. Oh, like that. Too big.
I knew this story was going to take a nasty turn. I didn't realise it would be this early.
Do you have bananas? You want to with them? No, just loads and loads of bananas. And so that's what they do, and they figured it out. Now, here's the thing. Gorillas are really more like people than you think. The daddy gorilla struggles the most with technology. And daddy gorilla's like, I can't figure this out at all.
I wanted bamboo or something.
Yeah, Daddy Momotaro, he's 24, and he's like, he puts in all the wrong numbers, doesn't get anything. Whereas the kids...
I never ordered that.
I never ordered that. What the hell is that? That's a beef kung pao. I just wanted chicken balls. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. So Daddy Momentaro he's getting it all wrong. He's not getting what he wants at all.
He has to get one of the kids in, does he, to order his grub?
Yeah. Now
Give me one of those things I like.
Yeah. Now the young lads, Gentaro and Kintaro, 13 and 6, they can do it no problem. They have a 70% success rate, and then get their options that they want all the time. And the ma, Genki, she's 38, very good as well. Not a bother at the technology.
Right.
I just think that's so amazing that it mimics human so much.
And
you know.
what does it list?
just
Like
see
how
Jim,
many
can't you?
potential choices there are?
Well, it's 10. There's 10 choices.
10
there's
different
10
choices. So they
different
know
choices.
the code sequence for 10 different choices.
Isn't it amazing?
Well,
There's a
apart
gr-
from the lad, obviously,
Yeah.
keeps getting the wrong order.
With a dad, he keeps doing it wrong.
I mean,
He
you
keeps
know what's
doing it wrong.
amazing about this? There's gorillas ordering food to a zoo from their keepers in Kyoto.
Yeah.
I can't even get Deliveroo in Roundwood.
I know you can't.
Or Just Eat or anything.
And that's not the delivery, it's because Jim can't work out the numbers either. Jim's on Gorilla Roo and Roundwood. Putting in,
Unbelievable.
Pizza.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. They can get all that delivered and up your way. Like, you can't get it delivered. You
Can't
have
even
to-
get a decent delivery.
Yeah, you've got 2 choices. They've 10. You've got 2 choices. I don't know what, late night sandwiches and just plain chips or whatever it is they do in the countryside.
Wow.
And they'll bun burger or that. Yeah, they've more choices than you.
Tell you, man, it's the start.
Yeah.
Those Planet of the Apes movies are going to start looking like documentaries. I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm slagging you, but if I was sitting next to that gorilla, the both of us on the phone, how would you order a chips? Neither of us would know. We'd be there. I don't know what. Is that a bun
Oh, they're
burger?
getting more bananas. You know
Why
how
did they
sick I
ever
am?
take their pictures off the menu? We'd be saying.
Glory Days. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
I have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
It's a question for you and a question for the Nova Nation. Because this could be a classic case of misremembering, which I am
Okay.
guilty of a lot, misremembering.
Tell me about a story of my life.
But yesterday when we were talking, remember we had the big egg chat on the show yesterday?
Yeah.
The whole thing about the French chef saying the perfect way to...
He was saying 32 minutes is the exact time to boil.
Yeah.
Like, any shorter, you're just not doing
Yeah.
it right.
And as a result of that conversation, one person texted in to say that they boil their eggs in the kettle
Weird.
or
In the kettle, yeah.
or their teapot or something, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's not, they boil them in the kettle, they said, yeah. And
And the thing about it is, right, I was convinced that way back in the midst of time, somebody had said to me that was bad for you. That the water that you boil eggs in...
it's poison.
Well, they didn't quite go as far as to say
Toxic.
poison.
It runs through you like a goose. Yeah, that's what I heard.
But that's what I'm wondering. Is that a thing? That
I dunno.
egg water, so to speak,
Is bad for you,
That,
poison.
if you were to, that you shouldn't be drinking it, as in making tea with it or
I
whatever.
don't think you're supposed to boil. And by the way, what this woman said, right? She said she throws the eggs in the kettle and she boils them. And then that means, as far as she's concerned, the eggs are cooked at the same time that the water is boiled for her tea.
Yeah.
That's what she told us.
Yeah, so she'll take the eggs out, then use the water to
For the tea.
For her tea.
And eat the eggs.
And I
I
was
think that
convinced
woman
that
belongs she belongs somewhere where someone can have a good stern word to her, that's for sure. That's a crime.
I'm convinced that it's bad for you. That, somebody had told me it's bad. Now, it could have been a spoof or I might be misremembering.
It sounds
Well,
like
now
it's not good.
there's Ronan has been on to say the water from boiled eggs cannot drink.
But she
Cannot
drinks-
drink. There you go. So that's
Well,
Ronan,
there's someone that's-
Ronan's probably done it now and it's affected
And
the
if
speech
that's what's
patterns.
happened, now that's how they speak. Dan can't drink egg water. Don't. Yes, that's what happens. But she says she does it all the time. And then you said that, I start Googling stuff. And this morning in the Mirror, there's a story about a woman who said to her husband, put the pasta on. I'm going to prepare and chop the vegetables in bits and pieces. And he threw all the pasta into the kettle and he boiled it in the kettle, right? And the same fella...
Boiled it in
The pasta. That's how he does pasta. He
because he
boils it
did-
in the kettle.
because he didn't have a pot, or the same reason that he's going
he's
to
just
make his tea as well.
He's like, we a woman yesterday who's still listening to us. A weirdo. And then she said the same fella boils his potatoes in the kettle as well.
Oh, for the love of God!
Yeah.
This is getting as bad as that lunatic that made his fish in the dishwasher. Remember that lad?
That lad, he does salmon darns in the dishwasher. Says he saves energy and time. when the dishwasher's dirty and it needs a load, he wraps a salmon darn in tin foil, puts it into the dishwasher, runs the whole lot, then he has a clean plate and a cooked salmon darn.
I mean, I suppose at least he's not drinking the water off it. But doing your fish in your dishwasher...
Still bloody weird.
I'd like a fish washer, please.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't done fish in a dishwasher? You haven't lived yet?
Oh, right. All the big chefs are doing it, you know.
It's very strange, isn't it? Wow. The way things that people do. I mean... And you know the way say people...
I know energy is expensive. And I know that, you know, and people are... the cost of living and everything. And I know if you can make efficiencies, but... There's some things.
There's
potatoes in your kettle and pasta and stuff is
that's not even bringing into the fact that we've warned you before, and I'm going to warn you again, never use a kettle in a hotel. There's people washing their knickers and everything in them.
Glory Days. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
Happy Friday, and of course, happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it, whatever you plan on doing, even if it means doing something alone. Because, as we said earlier on, loving yourself.
Loving yourself.
You're quite entitled to love yourself on this St. Valentine's Day.
It's very important. Really, really important. And there's not an ideal age. That's not the way to put it. How would I put it? There's an age, they say, that most people come to, and then that is the age where they accept themselves. They start to change. They start to look at themselves less critically. They look at themselves and they go, you know, for this age, I look good, and... I've always done my best, and I'm not a bad fella after all. And even though there might be wool all over me back and everything as a normal thing, maybe there's nothing too bad about that.
So you're saying that you finally start to accept yourself and love yourself at a particular age? You start
to embrace yourself with a bit more kindness.
So when does it arrive?
33. 33.
Here.
And if you don't do it by 33, it becomes more and more difficult as the years go by. Now, the only person I know that doesn't like Jim McCabe is a man whose name is Jim McCabe. And I think 33 this makes things a little harder for Jim McCabe to,
what news to break to me on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, they say, I tell you, about 32% of people have stopped caring altogether what people think of them. About 32%. And 54% now prioritise their own comfort over the comfort of other people in conversation or in social settings. And
here. By 33?
Well, by 33, yeah. 52% would go as far as saying, I'm now living a low-maintenance lifestyle, not just for me, but also for the people around me. Oh, my God, can you imagine Whippy McCabe over here? He has to give himself 3 whips of a knotted rope before he even leaves the house. And then he'd be there saying, what's ever going on? Oh, I can't believe it.
33 that's very young now to be suddenly deciding that you're a great old fella and you love yourself and all.
Yeah, well, now 88% of people at that age start, or at least have turned around and to some degree.
That's me all
not
over.
That bad.
That's me all over now. Couldn't even get into the 88%.
There's you now. There's Jim nearly in his 80s, and he's walking around.
Is it any wonder I can't love myself when you come out with barbs like that on a constant basis? Constant stream of abuse.
I don't know. For a man whose birth cert was made with the ashes of the fires of his house after the Brits burnt it down, I think you're doing wonderfully well. I think you look fantastic.
I mean,
and as I said, everybody likes you except for you.
They don't know me though.
They do. He said yesterday he had a moment. Someone gave him a compliment yesterday, right? Someone says, "Oh, how you met him?" Whatever in a retail-like situation, which I won't mention the name of the shop because everybody will be embarrassed. But in a retail situation, and someone says, "Oh, I love the show and everything." So, gas, put a face for name and everything. And he was
the part that made me uncomfortable was the you're the first celebrity we've had in today.
First celebrity we've had in today.
But anyway,
today.
The reference to a celebrity was...
And he was there, "Oh, go wait, will you? Stop saying nice things. I don't like it, will you? Shut up." That's what he said to her.
I didn't say that.
He did. He said, "Shut your hole, you." He said.
I did not say that. Just saying. It was just an uncomfortable kind of thing because I know I'm not, and you're going to... No, don't stop, will you?
Stop it, no. He would have much preferred if he walked in and that woman says, "We're closed," and slapped him in the face. He would have said, "I can live with that."
Wow.
I can live with that.
I'm sorry, but I do. I'm 33 seems young to be kind of that
I agree.
That totally comfortable in your own skin that
I agree.
You really start loving yourself.
This seems like a very optimistic side of thing. I don't really agree with it at all. I think you have to get to the point where you do realise you're in decay and you just don't care anymore. I do. I think you're right.
Surely it comes later.
Surely it's later. I'm knocking on the door 50 now, April 18th, if anyone wants to send presents. I'm knocking on the door. And I know now, best case scenario, I'm halfway dead. That's the way it is. Half dead.
Half dead.
Best case scenario, half dead. And at least a half of what's left is going to be pretty painful. So I have, with that foresight, decided I don't give a riddler's what anyone thinks. I don't think people at 33 can make that, though.
No,
genuinely, because
you have to. Surely you have to wait until your hips start giving you jip.
And,
and your ears are kind of doing different things.
Yes, or what just happened to me a minute ago, where I yawned really aggressively and something pinged in my leg, and I nearly fell off the chair.
You've been listening to Glory Days, the best of Radio Nova's Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. Catch the show live weekdays 6 to 10 on FM, online at nova.ie, or on the Nova app.